do. All right. Now, for more on Misfits win, let's head over to Medic and hear from their mid laner and AD carry.
Thank you very much, Pyra. I am joined by Senkux and by Hans Sammer. Congratulations, guys. Great performance by you today. Not the best of weeks for you, losing on day one, winning today. You know, how does it feel to be joining the Misfits roster now, Senkux? How do you feel as part of this team?
I mean, in the beginning, it was very different. They had a whole different system, and me and Mega were coming in from a system we had in Splyce, so we had to get used to that. But I feel like now we kind of fitting in that system, then we're obviously filling the holes that we need to do. And I mean, I enjoy living with the guys and playing with them. It's really fun.
So do you feel like you're incorporated into the team now? You're not still on the outside? Do you feel like you're part of Misfits?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like we're taken good care of when we arrived at the house, and both me and Mika are enjoying our time.
Excellent. It's good to hear. Hans Sammer, I want to ask you just a little bit about what you expect from Misfits this year. So last year you got to quarterfinals. You're an incredible group of talented players. Do you think you can make it to the same sort of stage this year?
I think in the beginning we will not have the best results as we would expect, but the more the time goes on, I think our team will be pretty much better, and I think we can still make it to the top. And if we try hard for all the people, all the staff too, and I think we can make it.
So do you think that you and Mickey can be better than you and Ignar were last year?
I think we can. Mickey brings new stuffs that I didn't know before, and it's pretty exciting to work with him.
And is it good to work with Senkux as well?
Yeah, they're pretty funny guys.
I like the way he says you're pretty funny. He doesn't say, oh, mechanically very good, good macro calling. It's just that you're a funny guy.
Yeah, he's toxic.
Do you think that you've brought a new light into the Misfits team as well? Do you think that you're giving them as much as they're giving you?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely have a different playstyle from what PoE had. He was a lot focused on these Orianna Syndra champs, where I was a lot focused on Taliyah, Sol, Galio. So I definitely bring a different perspective to the game, and so does especially Maxo, who I need to work a lot with. Like, he also brings new stuff to me, and we can talk to each other about those and work them together. And I think in the end, I think we're going to be a really strong duo.
That's excellent. It's good to hear. A lot of people are, thinking up names for their duos. You've got Jerks. Do you have a specific name you want for you and Maxlaw?
No, really, our name sucks together. Like,
it does.
I've seen so many ideas on Twitter and Reddit, and it all sucks.
Well, hopefully we can think of a good one at some point. A question for both of you. I want to talk about expectations for other teams this year as well. We've seen G2 get beaten today. We've seen Fnatic get beaten today. Where do you rank these other teams in terms of title contenders?
I think Schalke, that we played today, has a really strong roster. I think it's sad that Upset couldn't play today or yesterday. I think they have a really strong roster on paper, and I've also, when we played against them in scrims before, they've also been showing pretty good performances, and I know their coaching staff is pretty good as well. So I think definitely Schalke is going to be a top contender. Fnatic still has the main roster. G2 is G2, so they still have perks and old teammate Vander. So I still think like the top four is there, and even my old team Splyce, they have a pretty different roster, I would say, but if they can actually get to match together, I think they're going to be good as well.
Hans Sammer, any changes on that?
I think I pretty much agree with Senkux. Like, I'd say Schalke, Misfits, Fnatic, Splyce, G2 maybe will fight for the top, and maybe there's some teams who are where they have new players can make us surprised too. And I'm pretty excited for them to play in the future.
It's good to hear. We have got a lot of new rookies in the EU LCS. Are there any guys that you guys are particularly looking at who you think can stand out this year?
I don't know. I don't honestly really look at rookies. I'm just here to win the ULCS, so I don't know.
It's good to hear. Do you think that's something you can do this year? Do you think Misfits can take it all?
Definitely.
And Sammer, same?
Definitely.
Well, that's a good way to close it out. Thank you very much for talking to me, guys. Congratulations again on the win today. We're going to hand it over to the EU LCS post-game lobby. Shox, take it away.
Thank Thank you very much, Medic, and welcome to the ELCS post-game lobby. I'm joined here by Martin Official, Lunga, as well as Jankos from G2 Esports and Maxlor from Misfits Gaming. Maxlor, of course, all of you welcome, but Maxlor, you just got off the Rift, and we heard two of your team members speak about the game. So how are you feeling about the game, and how are you feeling about the weekend overall for Misfits?
I think the game was really chill and a lot better than our game yesterday in terms of how we performed on stage and panicking or whatever, but I would say it's a shame we didn't get to play against the real Schalke, so I'm looking forward to our rematch.
Well, it seemed that Roccat yesterday was a bit caught off guard of the Schalke they played against. Do you feel like their potential is really high if they when they get upset back?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to also crown the player of the game. That is Hans Sama with 54% of the vote. And it's not you, Maxlor, I'm sorry. We tried to swap you out to come on a post-game lobby and have Hans instead, but no.
Sejuani players, they don't get.
To be honest, though, your ults were not on point this game.
Yeah, I know.
So I
Or if
think
you flying like here and over there.
I was just giggling in game when I missed it. I was laughing at
sure.
myself.
Yeah.
But it was chill anyway, it was fun.
And it must be a confidence boost as well for Hans Sama because he's one of the remaining and returning members from Misfits. So good to see him get off to a good start.
I mean, very solid team fighting from Misfits. It actually never really felt like they could lose the game after they got that little triple kill in the bot lane. Before that, there were moments we thought Schalke could do some stuff, but I believe this bad boy right here, where Schalke overextend and then they get TP'd on, Misfits won the game.
Yeah, Jankos, you didn't see too much of it, I think, because you were just finishing up your own game. But the only thing you can say is that his Sejuani could have been more on point.
I mean, I think the map play was really good, but at the same time, I think some of the ults were not on point. But we have to remember that I think the game, the meta right now is pretty boring, and to be honest, it seems like the better draft wins, you know?
Yeah.
Agree.
It's
Well,
really weird.
The better late game wins
The
right
better
now.
late game, because I was going to say Misfits yesterday, it seemed like they had a strong draft on paper to start things off with, but it didn't scale too
Debatable.
well.
no, 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 no.
Debatable.
Okay,
Very
come on.
debatable.
By the way, if you pick Lee Sin, no offense, but if you pick Lee Sin right now, you deserve to lose, no? Like, I mean to Sejuani.
No, the thing
Would you
is...
do it again, though?
No, but... Okay. So scrims were like... You know, you pick Lee and your heart smurfing, you know, and you're just like, yeah, this shit's gonna happen on stage. And then... And then the same doesn't happen, you know, the enemy jungler doesn't die when he normally does die, and enemy bot, like, everyone is just dying all the time when you pick Lee Sin, but unfortunately, no one was dying on your side, so it really didn't kind of go well for me.
All right.
I need to ask though,
Yeah.
was there other jungle choices?
Yeah,
Kane?
I'm not gonna...
He's not, it doesn't
No,
want to
but
talk
I'm just not talking
Whoa,
general
whoa,
here.
whoa.
Like, where's my Kane?
Are you trying to milk information out of me? Are you trying to give other
Actually,
teams
sorry,
an
let me
advantage?
ask a good jungler, Jankos.
Yeah.
Can Kane be played in this meta?
I believe no. But I think
Why?
Well, I think it's really difficult to get the Darkin Kane on stage since no one is fighting. And yesterday, you guys went for really, I know, weird plays, diving out to the bot lane.
Yeah.
And we kind of caught you off guard always there, and you always died. And then, you know, we had obviously better scaling. I think with Kane, it would be even more difficult to win the early game. But I think they could pick Zac, for example. Maybe it's not the best pick against Sejuani. I think Sejuani would all scale anyway. But Sejuani is really broken right now, so yeah.
Didn't Memento pick Zac in the game versus...
Into,
yeah, he did!
I don't
into
remember.
Jarvan, which
Yeah.
is even
Yeah.
worse than
Worse.
picking into Sejuani, but something happened. Can you tell me how you lost that? I mean, normally if someone picks Zac into my Jarvan, I'm pretty happy, and, you know, I saw you had a level lead, but couldn't really translate that into a win. What was
Yeah, I think we were really confident, you know, but then in scrims, everyone is really squishy. And when I ult, they die. But this time, Kog'Maw would always lived, and he always killed me.
Yes.
That was really weird, you know? So I realized at some point that I cannot really go for the backline, but the game ended.
Yeah.
So
When you realize it.
So I think there's some stuff we can take out from this game, and since every team has different idea how to play the game right now, after the first week, I think a lot of the teams will fix their drafts, and we know more now, and we will improve for sure.
All right. Well, we're also going to see that game, Roccat versus G2, a bit later. There's a couple of other games I want to talk about, though. And it's also Splyce versus the Unicorns of Love. As you say, a lot of teams, it's their first games, and it's kind of the complete opposite oftentimes for what we saw from yesterday. And in Unicorns of Love versus Splyce, it was crazy. 68 minutes, the fish show, and what we're going to look at again is the base race, because I believe Maxlor or Jankos hadn't seen it yet. So I think that's going to come up right now. At that point, it wasn't really sure who was going to win anything, and then all of a sudden it's a base race. That is, of course, what you can expect from the Unicorns of Love almost always.
On the big screen right now, boys.
I was sipping on my water when this was happening, and I thought it's a Clown Fiesta, but then it made sense that Azir went for the base race. At the same time, though, I think if Kobe and Odwamne could play it a bit better, I think they should stall more. Like, the game was really close and Splyce won, but I felt like Kobe and Odwamne died a little bit too fast.
I don't know if White Knight could have gone back earlier to base right there and maybe trying to defend a little bit more, because there was no minions, obviously, which is why it took them forever to kill the tower. Very, very tough to say in these games. Also, we've gone like 20 minutes where no one had died, I believe. There's been like no fighting at all, and then it just ends in this base race, so that was pretty insane.
Maxlor talked to me about Splyce. It's a team that, from our perspective, they have a lot of individual talent that seemed like they would be able to quite easily pick up some early wins while other teams were figuring them out. But what is your kind of idea of their strength right now?
I really don't know, because they played some weird stuff, but also at the same time, I liked what they picked today. I like to call the 90-minute farm for late game composition. You know, LCK did it today.
Yes.
Longest game in history or something like that.
Yep.
So they just copied the exact same thing and closed the game out at 60 minutes, not 90. So I think they're already better than some LCK teams.
I think that's an apt analysis. Our player of the game
great.
was Kobe, who obviously had his part in playing that very late game. Good to see Kobe doing well as well, and he finds himself in kind of a new system now, right? He's got some very different players around him than he did last year.
Yeah, of course, and I think with the Splyce, like, I know we thought a lot about them coming in strong in the start. Like, the more I look at the Splyce lineup, the more I kind of disagree with my own idea of how they were going to play.
Amazing said they were built for playoffs, by the way.
Sure, so
Oh, really?
I join Amazing a little bit more here, but I'm looking at this team and with Copy as well, like, they need to figure out exactly, okay, what kind of style is it they want to play? Who's going to be the main carry? Because right now, Niski's not doing very well in the mid lane, so they're relying a lot on Copy and Odwamne, but then Odwamne got shot down because they didn't even try and play around his
I don't know
lane.
if you saw that, your ex-teammate.
Oh, I mean,
They
I was
had
watching
his
the
number.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the game. I think Odwamne needs to work on some of the decisions he's making in game. Also, he was playing Ilaoli, so he got really hard camp, right? But that is not the reason you die so many times. And yesterday against SOAS, he didn't perform so great either. Like, I think he got solo killed once or twice. So I think Odwamne needs to step up a little bit. I like him a lot, but if he's my friend, it's better to tell him like straight up, like, oh, do you need to step up because you played like shit today? Then instead of it, like, talking like, hey, it's fine, you know, you got camped, like, it's all right.
I think that's a good thing in friendship. You just have to be honest to each other
Yes.
and say that straight up. So we also have to be honest about some other games. H2K had a bit of a game yesterday, but they had a fantastic game today because they beat Fnatic, and that was very unexpected. Caedrel and Sheriff, they were on the game today. Yesterday, not so much.
Yeah, this was a really crazy game because Fnatic's early game was really cool. Like,
Yeah.
they had the Spellbook Sivir that kind of just perma-push bot lane, then went top lane, perma-push top lane. They got 3 auto turrets down at 11 minutes as well in the game, so they were really, really far ahead. But just like yesterday, when Fnatic needs to play around Baron, they get really, really greedy. And they start chasing for kills, and suddenly, a Vayne, Kassadin, Vladimir comp that couldn't defend at all found the one team fight they needed on 2 items, and they got right back in the game, and then they actually just kind of kept winning team fights from there on and out. And Fnatic, they can't be happy.
Nope.
I said this yesterday, I didn't think the first game was very clean they played. They have great early game, but they get so greedy around Baron where they just refuse to play the slow game like Misfits did today, actually, and then they start chasing for kills. And when you do that against a comp that technically can't defend at all, but they can only fight with flanks like Kassadin and Vladimir, you just give them a chance to get back in the game, and it was kind of weird to see.
To be honest with you, the issue though, I feel like Fnatic is making mistakes that are really easy to fix. I think maybe they have some issues with shot calling. Maybe Hylissang is bringing some UL aggression inside of the team, and then they are making weird decisions that cost them a couple of kills sometimes. Maybe something else. I don't personally know. All I know is that I feel like Fnatic will be a good team. I think they can fix the mistakes that they're doing right now. I think that they are playing by the book. And the mistakes that they're doing are really easy. Just don't go for the kills. You know, keep playing objectives, keep playing slow.
Let me ask you
Can
this
they
then,
change?
for both of you guys. Do you think the mistakes you guys made yesterday are easy to fix, Max? And the same for Jankos after that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, firstly, like, before the even game starts, the whole draft, we fixed that for today. We managed to fix that.
Agree.
Understanding the meta we fixed. Communication on stage today was a lot better than yesterday. So yeah, a lot of things were mistakes that we made yesterday were fixed, and I'm sure if you play G2 again, it will be a bit closer.
And Jankos, the inverse. How come there were so many more mistakes today?
I mean, I believe that losing the game is way better than winning, especially in especially in regular season. I mean, you just have to look at it. I was playing boosted today, for example, so we have some issues that we will see way more clearly right now, and I think we'll fix them for sure for next week. I'm actually really excited to play scrims again and to kind of practice and to maybe even make some draft changes or maybe make some
Do you make the draft
Jarvan, for
changes in
example.
G2? Oh,
No,
okay.
I mean I don't personally, but
Okay.
we all can talk about it because we are a team. We are not one-man army. We are a team.
Max, you wanted to jump in?
Oh, I was about to say, like, after like this whole essay that you just said, I think maybe if yesterday was a best of 3, you know, we would have won.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense though.
But
But
just
if you draft Lee
best
Sin
of
again, it was
ones.
free window.
Yeah, of course.
And
but
we
then
can go
I'll
for
not.
gentleman agreement,
Yeah.
and maybe sometime we can play carry matchups.
Yes. Yeah. I'll be.
That would
Shake,
be the,
shake
I would
hands
be
on
up
that.
for it.
I think we all want to see
Next
that.
time they
You want,
play.
No,
next time we play,
no,
do you want to do
no
carry
handshake.
matchup? I mean,
Yeah.
Fun thing is, it's actually the coaches who decide the
Actually,
draft,
yeah.
so it doesn't mean anything what they do here, but
actually, okay. I'll persuade my coach. I'll try. and
Okay,
you try.
yeah, let's talk to our coaches first,
Okay.
okay? Okay.
Alright,
There we go.
fantastic. And now we are going to watch that game again, or not the whole game. We're going to watch some highlights from Roccat versus G2 because we talked about it yesterday. Roccat, you never know when they're going to strike. And it was today, Jankos.
well, we
So-
know when they play G2, they're gonna strike.
Well, instead of just
Oh, this is the only
Bragging on
thing I
Jakobs,
did in
let's-
the whole game. I actually hit my EQ on Kog'Maw this time.
Yeah, this was a good play.
But Kog'Maw is trolling a bit.
Well, he
I
had no
mean,
flash, so he went in for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I have...
Fisher without trolling too much. Let's talk
No
about then
push.
the strengths of Roccat. Why was it that Roccat looked so good today?
Well, what I liked about Rocket, so first of all, I liked Rocket's late game draft a
Don't look
lot
at
in
this.
this game
I'm
here.
I'm so
so
sorry.
whenever
I'm
stuff
so
like this
sorry.
happens,
I'm so sorry. I was so bad. The Fisher, don't look at it, please.
oh, I
really
casted
sorry.
this one, man.
Zach is really
that
good.
was
I
painful
kept
for
saying,
me as
okay,
well.
Jankos, his life will suck because he jumps in, then he gets killed really fast, and then he can't really do anything because they can't kill the backline fast enough, which is why we like Rocket's draft. But the early game was the big one for me, because what we've seen in Europe a lot, you know, here in week 1 is Ryze gets TP after the first back, he pushes the mid lane, then he goes to either top or bot lane, and he executes a tower dive, and he gets a kill or two, and the game kind of snowballs in favor of Ryze. In this game here, Blank went back to base early, returned before the TP even happened, pushed the lane over and over, and when Perks roamed bot lane, it was called, EQ was baiting with his stopwatch. I believe Jankos went a little bit too ham on that one as well. And then suddenly, when Perks returned to mid lane, Memento was there, they killed Perks, then they killed Jankos, then they killed, I think it was top lane, and they were 3-0 on Azir, and with a better late game comp. So they just kind of snowballed the game from there.
Yeah, Blanc did a very good job, I would say. We were
Great
kind of
job.
looking at him to maybe step up for Roccat and getting off to a fantastic start. And it's a bit crazy. All things that we thought yesterday that we learned were turned on their heads today. Let's
Good
take
old
a
best
look.
of one right there.
Best of ones and only 2 games. Let's take a look at the standings for where we ended up, because the one thing we can say is that Vitality is the undisputed statistical best team in Europe.
God Gilius coming
God
for the
Gillian.
throne right
So,
there.
Max, what do you think of your number 1, your lord, your king of EU at this point, Vitality and Gilius?
I think all the other teams, in terms of score, are not even close to Vitality. Like, Vitality are probably going to win Worlds this year.
Let's get a serious answer.
Okay, how I actually feel about them?
Yeah,
No clue, mate.
great answer.
I mean, Max also said that Misfits would win Worlds, and I mean, they were getting really, really close, so I would say that is an
I
apt
mean, they had to
prediction.
also beat a team that 3-0'd SKT technically to win Worlds, but they were close to semi-final. I'll give them that one.
Yeah, Unicorns of Love, bottom of the table, only team that is 0-2. We haven't really talked about them too much. Sheepy has a new project. Sheepy needs to build that team up again. It's not really working out yet. What do you think? What do you think needs improving, Jankos, about Unicorns of Love?
I think first of all is the first week, right? So just stuff happens and we can't really take a lot from it. But I believe that UL has some issues. I think they are really impatient in the game. I think they make a lot of mistakes. And then on top of it, it seems like their early game is not on point just yet, you know. When we look at Vitality, they also, I think, had pretty easy week. So
Yeah.
we can say that they won because, you know, they played worse opponents. But I actually think Vitality is not a bad team right now. They look strong. I think they can improve as well. And on the other hand, we have Schalke that played with Vander AD carry.
Yes.
I like Vander, but I mean, I think with Upset, they'll be way better. So I'm really excited for second week.
Well, you obviously played with them a lot, and I see you guys bantering on Twitter often. So what was your reaction when you saw Vander yesterday playing Varus and basically crushing it. Did you know this about Vander, that he was so good at AD carry?
I mean, I spoke to him before the game because I was giggling really hard when I heard that he will play AD carry. But then he won and he triple killed. And then I saw the replay on Reddit where the referee was like, this guy is actually pretty good, you know? So
He also
it's
used to
nice.
be an AD carry.
Yeah, he used to be an AD carry
in the day.
and he's really cocky. He always says that, oh, my AD carry is so much better than LCS AD carries. I can play
And
so
my support.
good."
Because I actually remember back in Season 2, I made a post on the League of Legends forum looking for a duo partner back then. And Vander was the only one who replied. This was like 1800 ELO days, early Season 2. And he played AD carry back then, and he was pretty damn good. I was really boosted mid laner, but he was a good AD carry. So he's actually played it for a few years at least. It's just been a while. And I mean, yesterday's performance was pretty good. His laning phase is pretty bad. And that's why he loses a lot of the CS,
Apparently it
sadly.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if you play against... Who did they play against yesterday? Roccat.
The team that
Good
beat
that you
G2.
caught it because my brain was
Roccat.
So Schalke Vander better than G2 with main roster.
You know what? Okay, so we beat you guys,
Yeah.
and you guys beat who?
Schalke.
Oh, Schalke, and then Schalke beats Roccat, and then Roccat beats us. So that means Europe is still Europe.
Yep.
That's
So we should be
absolutely
proud
cool.
of it.
Yeah, fantastic. Just to
Well
close
said.
this off about Schalke, we had some really high expectations about Schalke. Hopefully Upset will be back as soon as possible to also practice with the team. Where do you think, they say they're built for playoffs, right? It's not about winning right now, but where do you see the ceiling is of Schalke with Upset, Maxler?
A lot better than how they played today, yeah.
Is it a team you fear going into playoffs?
I fear no one.
You fear no
I
one.
think he should. I think
I-
Schalke are going to be really good in playoffs.
Yeah?
I
Why?
love the coaching staff on the team. I think Nuke
Biased?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I think Nuke Dog, Visichati, and Upset are going to be 3 super good carries for the team. My only concern right now is Pride, who I think is making a lot of, I call him rookie mistakes, even though he's been here for a split, but he does actually hurt his team in certain fights because he jumps in way too aggressive and then suddenly the support has to save him or Nuke Dog needs to step forward. And that's something he needs to fix. But I think if he actually becomes a jungler who learns more about the competitive aspect and like what he needs to do in game, I think he's going to be okay. I don't think he's going to be one of the best, and that might be an issue for Schalke.
Yeah, he's still maturing. He can't be as good as God Gilius. You know, Vitality today, a second win of the week over Giants, but I don't want to talk about or meme about Gilius anymore. I do want to highlight those two guys, Mini Trupax and Jizuke on Vitality, 2 guys we were looking at. First Italian player in the EULCS, first Portuguese player in the EULCS, and they crushed it, and that's cool to see. Their enthusiasm seems to be carrying over to the EULCS so far, Defisho.
Yeah, Jizuke yesterday was really, really good in the early game. Actually snowballed everything for
The
his team.
Portuguese pony. Did you see that?
Wait, did we call
It
it
was
that?
supposed to be subtle, but it's just on the big screen right
and now you called it out
Yeah,
right
sorry.
there. But I think Mini Trubex today, he did his job because when you play Caitlyn, and if you don't win the laning phase, that's already bad. But then you had a Tahm Kench next to you, so that was kind of rough. Gets to the mid game, can't really do anything, and then he got to 6 items, and it's kind of expected then that you do really well in fights, and he did. So he did his job and was a main reason for them winning.
How do you guys think that the fact that these 4 guys that played in LVP and played in Challenger, they won so much when they were there, and now they're still winning in the EULCS, but we had a bit of a discussion about how will they react when things get a bit tougher. How do you think Vitality is going to evolve and age throughout the split, Max?
Honestly, I think they should have lost today because I think Giants had like a 4K lead.
Yeah.
They could have gone Baron whenever they wanted. They ended up getting it, but then they just like, I don't know, Ruin wasn't looking at his screen or something, and slowly but surely they actually got to that stage where they outscaled, right? So I'm not sure where I'd rank them, and what Janko said was right, where it's only the first week, so you can't just instantly say, oh, these teams are good, these teams are bad, and all that. So within time, we'll see how well they do. I don't think they're going to be the best in Europe, but they can possibly make playoffs.
I also don't want to shortchange Giants. They also had a great first week. As you say, they had a good game today. They had a crushing game yesterday. But there's one thing we can say. We had a long discussion about it, who we think is the MVP of the first week. And we've decided that it can't be, it's Ryze. It's Ryze, the Fisho. I know how much you love him. I know how much you love the stopwatch Ryze combo.
It's such a dumb combo.
So 8 picks, 1 ban, and 4 win and loss. So he's definitely not overpowered, but it is kind of, it's been overpowering in the games, and we saw some really nice combos as well. We're going to take a look at a couple of them. So where do you guys lie on Ryze? Is it coming into a must ban, or is it beatable either way?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to be honest because
Yeah, of
I mean, I just can't be.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think Ryze is very strong, and I think every team can see that. And right now we have Ryze being played in the mid lane against Azir mostly. Then we saw Nuke deck pulling off Cassiopeia. So I think maybe meta will shift and maybe we'll look for some more Ryze counters. But at this very moment, it seems like he's really strong mid laner.
I know you can't say too much because Perks is obviously also very, very good on Ryze. So
Yeah, Perks is decent. Yeah, he destroyed Misfits. I think he went like Flame Horizon, like on Senkux. He just
Do you guys like the fact that Ryze has a combo where he can ult and press Hourglass and he can just escape anything?
I love it. As a jungler, I personally love it. I love the fact that I can ult with Sejuani or I can, lock him down with Cataclysm and he has no flash and then he can just ult and Zonya and it just makes me so happy when I see, like, it's so skilled. You require so many, like, buttons. It's insane.
You gotta click ult and Hourglass.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine some people
that's why there's pro players and we mere mortals can't do that.
It's amazing how these people can just use the mechanics to escape every single time.
It's crazy. And maybe that's what also made the fact that the games have been quite long today, especially, and also over the weekend. The average game time has been 42 minutes and 3, while in summer 2017 it was 34 minutes, give and take. So is that just a symptom of it being the first week max floor and everyone kind of figuring things out, the mid game being the most difficult thing and closing out games?
Could you repeat the whole question?
Yes, that was a lot. Why are the games so long right now?
A lot of people are doing like extremely late game compositions and kind of not getting stomped in 20 minutes by teams that pick early compositions.
Yesterday.
Sure. Well, if you get to the late game, these comps are really good, right? And most of the games are like 40 or 50 minutes because people are struggling to close out games. Maybe it's the first week, so maybe they're nervous after taking a break from league or whatever. But I don't expect the meta to be full late game, as some teams are doing right now and getting away with it. I suspect that maybe it's bad to go full early game and just like FF the game if you mess up one dive. I know from experience. But there should be more early game next week.
All right.
Could I ask, without revealing too many things, but in scrims, are we seeing more early game drafts and more focus on early game, or are people also going very late game there? Or is it mainly just on stage?
I think the scrims, we have way more fights. I think some teams are trying to pick early game compositions that work obviously way better in scrims than they do on stage. But I think the meta is kind of similar. And for example, from my experience in scrims, as how we play in G2, and so far we didn't scrim Misfits and Fnatic, because they didn't want to play us because we play each other, so that's kind of normal. I think that the games are similar. It's more kills, but not so much, and the games are quite long as well. Some people even consider running the Gathering Storm Mastery that gives you AD and AP, which I think is a little bit trolly because you can't expect it to work every time, but maybe, I know, on Sivir or something.
Yeah. Let me dive into a topic maybe briefly that's been talked about a lot in the past, EU scrim culture versus what happens on stage. Would you guys say there's been a considerable change? Is there a different approach nowadays or that you've noticed, or what's your opinion?
Same as before.
Same as before?
Yeah.
Which is not that good, or?
Yeah, it's bad practice.
I mean, I think I've been through it already. Max were kind of the same. We had experience, and I still remember, I think it was season 6 maybe, when Rek'Sai was the most OP peak in the jungle in scrims, because every game you would go 3 levels ahead and 20-0 in 20 minutes. And then in playoffs, Gragas was 10 times better because
I remember
it was
that,
I remember. I learned the hard way back then. Same with Kindred Graves and stuff like this. So right now we take scrims, kind of better, and we try to make the game slower. We don't take every fight that we could, just because maybe enemies wouldn't be so stupid on stage. And Roccat did beat us with late game scaling composition, but I don't think that's the reason that they actually won. So there is a lot to learn.
Some changes at least for G2 there.
Yeah, some changes, and it seems like hopefully a positive evolution for the scrims. Yeah, I lost my train of thought, but that's okay, because we're going to move on to our big plays. We had a first week packed with action, and you guys went on Twitter to give us your highlights. Here are your LCS big plays of the week, brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, it is Giants top laner Ruin, who after the game against Unicorns of Love, he tweeted, before the match, Jack Troll's grandpa said, "Ruin, take my energy." I was moved by his words. With that energy, Ruin, he pulled off a great outplay to secure first blood.
Forward, Ruin is going to be locked up in the Hextech Ultimatum. Trashing on the way. Allure has been proc, just looking for the hate spike. Flash forward, that's the charm. Bringing him back out of that tower range. Goes Golden. Freeze frame, baby, but you're still going down. No! Yes! Hook shot, unstoppable! Outplay! Oh, God, that's disgusting.
Ruin, he was one of the players we were excited to see. New player joining the LCS stage. He's been in Challenger for a very long time. First appearance in the LCS, but there's more fighting down bot.
Mid will be able to move on next.
I will kill him. Nice. Holy shit, Ruin.
Holy fuck, Ruin is insane.
I will tip it top, okay?
Hook.
No, go back. I can't go. Okay.
It's never fun to dive a tank with CC, a small shield, and stopwatch. And I think Unicorns learned right there. And this is actually one of the reasons some of the games do not snowball very quickly, at least, because of stopwatch, as an example. Makes it very difficult to go for these early plays.
Yep, but for Ruin, fantastic start to his EU LCS season, I would say. He had a fantastic play, and so did Jizuke. He entered the EU LCS with a bang and pulled off a quadra kill in Vitality's game against H2K. At Clockwork tweeted, "Welcome to the LCS Italy. Jizuke with the greatest rookie game ever."
Forward, the flash onto Tom Kench. No one there to save him, unfortunately. Cannot eat himself. Now they're moving for a little bit more. Gillies in the backside. Suddenly it's Jizuki in the back of the fight. Sheriff running for his life. H2K half managed to take the 1-for-1. Jizuki could be in trouble. How many can he kill before he goes down? He manages to take one. Spinny J gonna look for the CC. That's the double. He's making it out. Cabo now with the follow-up. Vitality are clearing through H2K. The triple for Jizuki. Will he get the quadra kill? Looks like Mini Truepax wants to bring it home. Nope. Ryze gonna take it in the end. That is the ace for Vitality.
They're going, we're going.
Kalista!
I tanked everything. Can you win?
They have nothing.
They're going on Jizuka.
I'm coming, help me!
I got Kalista. Nice! Let's go! F them up! End mid after!
Hey, Quadra! My first
End top!
Okay.
End top!
I boost.
End top! Top!
Nice.
You can end!
I gotta say, very clean shot calling right there.
Love it. Yeah, fantastic. And just as a note, we got to know that it's not Jizuki, it's Jizuke. Jizuke, not Jizuki. But in the heat of the moment.
The Italian stallion, that's what we call him.
Let's scream that. Maxor, you were saying we're playing them next week. How do you think that's going to go?
Ban Ryze.
Ban Ryze and win the game. Well, we'll see what happens.
Maxor again, good Gilius. Got Gilius. I would like to see the Lee Sin matchups, but I'm not sure if you guys are ballsy enough to pull it off again.
What do you mean, Lee Sin against tank or what?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if one of you will be,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Do you have some fighting words
really
for
excited.
Gilius, or you just want to?
Not really.
No, just going to go into the match. Another big play when Schalke 04 needed him. Vander stepped up as an AD carry at Ericao8 asked the question on everyone's minds, are you sure it's not forgiven on stage?
Well, Roccat right now starting it. Let's see what happens here. Chachi.
He's going to bounce the ram forward. Vander is hammering away. The Devour bites a few seconds longer as Boris has blocked so much damage. Vander is untouched. He shoots up the arrow.
Vander, the AD carry. God.
Vander with a triple.
I think you can... Yeah, okay. Flash. Nice. Well played,
Nice,
Vander.
Vander.
Keep attacking.
Astral. I can flash in.
Let's go, maybe don't go too much. Oh, you're winning.
Oh
boys! Let's go! Let's go!
Energy, guys, energy. Okay, reset and instant dash when they spawn. Reset and instant dash.
I didn't hear Boris's voice.
Yeah, Boris is pretty quiet.
I like how calm it was until they realized he got a triple kill, and then they went crazy.
Even like Nukedak didn't actually believe in Vander.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far.
You got the kill, yeah. It's fine. Go back now.
Two things. I'm incredibly disappointed we didn't see the referee.
Oh, the not bad in the background?
That was great. And secondly, also Nukedak, he didn't really, but he was, you were guys saying, really micromanaging the situation up until then, or was it more?
I mean, I'm not sure if he was micromanaging or if he maybe didn't believe in Vander, because obviously he was trying to help out, but I think Vander played pretty good. He was outing whole time. He went like forgiven mode kind of, so it was exciting to see one of my friends pulling it off on AD carry, and he was always so excited when he was talking about AD, and he was always so cocky, so I'm really happy for him that he could play AD carry on stage and prove himself and win against the team that we lost against, for example, so good job, Vander.
Yeah, it was a wonderful moment. The Fish Show, a lot of games, and I know it's difficult, but do you have a couple of things that stood out for you and that you're looking forward also into how they develop next week?
I want to see some answers to the full late game comps. I'm hoping more teams will take a gamble on stage and try and execute early game a little bit more. I really like Fnatic's early game as an example. I think it was super, super good. If they can just close out the game, it would have been fantastic for them. Good answer to full late game scaling. I like Jizuke's first game with the quadruple kill on Ryze. I actually loved watching Roccat today against G2 as well. Because they lost so hard to a team with a sub yesterday, and we keep calling Roccat the Kingslayers, no matter who's on that lineup. And whenever they play G2, for some reason, they just beat them.
Yeah. Can you really call them the Kingslayers if they're up versus Jankos, though? That's always a question.
That was hard.
I'd never get to do it anymore.
I'll take it.
I thought you could probably take it, Jankos. My apologies.
I don't know what happened, but you know what? I think we had the game under control. Still when losing, kind of. I mean, we
debatable, very debatable.
What I mean by that is that we know why we're losing, and we still made the mistakes. So I think it will be all right. And Roccat, they were the better team today.
Well, fantastic footnote. Let's see what we've got on the plate next week, because we'll be back with more fights in the EU LCS next Friday. That's at 6 p.m. Kicking off with a clash between G2 Esports and Giants. So that is going to be a good one again, because Giants did look quite strong, Jankos. What are you thinking to that matchup?
Oh, to be honest with you, I think we can play well against Giants. I think they have the old Roccat lineup, kind of. So we'll see, for example, Betsy against Hyana and Wadid. So I'm pretty sure maybe there will be some banter between those players. But I'm confident in the matchup, and I think
I mean, you have to win that game.
Improve. Like, we'll just improve. You know?
G2 needs to beat Giants.
Okay.
Really
I really don't care that we play Giants nor Fnatic. What I care about is that Monday we'll play Scrims, and I'm really excited to improve what we were bad at. And then, you know, whoever we play, yeah, we'll just play them, and we'll just try.
Lovely.
Good.
Maxlore versus H2K is your first match up on Friday next week. They had an up and down weekend, but today they finished strong. What are you thinking about that one?
I think it's going to be fun. Playing against my old teammate Smitty J.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think if they draft like they did today, we'll for sure win. However, if they draft properly, it can be anyone's game if we don't fix our problems. But I think with Bob Ross over here, I can take his positivity and shine towards my team, and we can grow a lot this week too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Europe is getting stronger, right?
It's a very wholesome discussion here.
Fisher, what do you think to Vitality Fnatic? That's what I have my eye on for that Friday.
Ooh. I think Fnatic are going to look at the problems they had. I think they're going to fix it. I think they're going to beat Vitality as well in the early game. And then they're going to close out the game this time around.
All right, that's all next week. And also on Saturday, we'll also have the Clash of Kings, Fnatic versus G2, which is going to be very hyped. But Jankos, do you have any simple fighting words for Fnatic?
Not necessarily. I'm pretty sad that both teams lost games before playing each other, because that would be really exciting to, you know, be 3-0, 3-0 and then facing each other. But as of now, both teams are making mistakes, and we are not the same. They are not the same teams as they were. You know, there is no Sven Miffy, there is no Jesse's. So which team can improve more until week 2?
Completely new brawl. We'll see. Remember also that the first games in the NA LCS are underway, starting with TSM versus Team Liquid. And if you didn't catch all of the EU LCS games from today, we will have a rebroadcast right after the NA LCS is over. Team Liquid, TSM, lightning round. Who's going to win?
TSM!
TSM.
EU.
EU is the winner.
Basically TSM.
TSM, yeah.
TSM. All right. So on that note, we're going to sign off for the night and let you guys watch the NA LCS. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys very much for joining me here after a long weekend. It was already. And tune in next week as the EU LCS continues with 10 new games. Have a great night.
Want this fight, they tried to steal the red. Now they're trying to steal some kills, and there's first blood. Ruin gets it, he wants a bit more. He's going to take a bite of the champ, but Duque doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's going to get nommed out. And Giants once again collapse for a kill. But Vitality will not let him escape. They end it with an ace, and they take the win. 1,000 Cold looking for it. Has the flash, is going to jump in. He seals it!
Nice one, nice one.
Watching Niski off towards the side as well, going to do a lot of damage here. Here's the call of the Portugal. The knockup hits onto him, but the smack comes down, and Zaxi is a god. Unicorns are gonna do it again. The womboist of combos. They take down 3 on the Nexus to get Lemenius. The Unicorns, they're done before you have it.
you step forward and get CC'd, you might just die instantly. There's a 4-item Sivir. Oh! That can also happen, by the way. Yeah, that's why Zoe is so annoying.
Oh my god, men i ett wish there.
On the Nexus tower, Fnatic gonna try and turn it back around. It's up to Caps. Can't get onto Cage. The Nexus is gonna boom, and H2K take the win over Fnatic.
Zach pulls in too. Indeed, he's going low. He can't save anyone's life. The protection's not going to do a thing. Blake shuffles him right back in. Wander is way too late to this party. Person tried to save the game, but with the Nexus Bear, it is clear that Kingslayers once could slay Kings again.
They keep doing it, man.
Feels awesome.
He has picked off Vander. Senguk's flashing forward to try and pick off Nuke Duck, and they're going to take down Boris. Misfits cleaning house under turret. Down goes Nuke Duck for a double kill. Corrupting enough. A couple of roots come down, and it's Boris that follows first in this fight. 5-on-4. Now can Misfits clean up the house? Nuke Duck caught, isolated from his team, and Mickey X slays him. 42 minutes in, Misfits improved to 1-1 to close out week 1.